Alright, I'm going to show you how to do a quick auto UV on a mech. I'm going to be using the Huntsman from Mechwarrior Online. This one I've slightly modified. It was prepped for Mechwarrior 5, but it's basically the situation you're going to run into. I've already done the UVs to camera, so they're all jacked up. Theoretically, if you made a new mech, this is what its UVs might look like. It's a pretty simple process. A few things you're going to want to make sure you've got is UV Toolkit. I don't know how you actually put it on here. You'll have to double check if it isn't already on there. A quick Google search will probably find it. Alright, so super easy. So you got your mech, create, automatic. I didn't change any of the settings originally, so it should be as is. No problem. You're going to select UV shell. You're going to find a nice big UV shell. In my case, I usually check like the front of the torso or something like that. The settings you're going to be looking for that are going to be important is in your UV tool set, you've got transform, and you're going to be looking for texel density. This is going to basically make sure that your pixels and your texture density is kind of even across the board. You've got your main face or whatever selected. You're going to hit get. It's going to grab the texel density of that. You're going to hold shift, drag over to select everything else. It's going to deselect what you had originally selected, select everything else, and you're going to hit set. That'll change everything. It might scream at you a little bit. It's generally not a problem. You'll have to kind of do it case by case to see if it is. In this case, it's not. It'll work fine. So now your UVs are all nice and made to fit each other, scale-wise. They're all scaled equal to each other so that the texture density is the same across the board. So you're going to go to modify. You're going to go to layout. In my case, you open up the settings. You want to make sure you've got 4096 selected. I don't rotate shells. It's up to you if you want to. I mean, you can fiddle around with the settings some. I usually have translate selected. You can deselect fixed non-manifold. I mean, the MWM mechs are probably going to have manifold stuff when you pull them out and upgrade them, clean them up. So you'll have to see what happens. And then, of course, I had a shell padding of 20. Layout UVs, blah, 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 fix. And now your UVs are what you expect. So this is what you would normally see, and you've shown before. Everything's nice and laid out, nice and clean. And this works fine if you're doing Substance Painter or a similar program because you don't need to worry about seams. Now, if you're wanting to hand paint mechs, I mean, you can still do it in Substance Painter. It'll still work fine. The seams may or may not be a problem. The seams are mostly an issue if you're doing old school texturing where you're doing it in like Photoshop or something like that rather than something like Substance Painter. But anything you do in Substance Painter or any kind of program where you're painting onto the model directly, not a problem. You'll never notice an issue. So we'll go ahead and export this out. And we'll bring it into Substance Painter, 4K, compute tangents, blah, 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 blah. Don't need auto under or UV map, obviously. And there you go. So everything's nice and clean. Just a couple of errors from the mesh itself being kind of funky, but as you'll see, everything works fine. You can draw across it, no seams, no issues like that. You're not going to have any problems. As far as Mechwarrior 5 is concerned, this is 100% A-OK. This is not an issue with bad practice or any of that. Use what you got for what you need it for. So, easy peasy. If you have any questions, just shoot me a message.